Hello, welcome to all of you. Me, Brajman Adhikari, is welcoming all of you in the economics class. Today, I am going to share with you about the business economics, its features, scope, and many more. Economics itself is quite difficult to define accurately. Similarly, since business economics is concise as well as comprehensive, it is also more difficult for accurate definition. Many scholars have attempted to define business or managerial economics by emphasizing its various aspects. However, the focus of this section is to summarize them to know what business or managerial economics is all about. Business economics deals with the application of economic principles and methods for business and managerial decision making of firms. Today, in this session, I am going to share you some of the popular definitions about the managerial economics or business economics. According to popular economists Spencer and Siegelman, managerial economics deals with the integration of economic theory with business practice for the purpose of facilitating decision making and forward planning by the management. Another popular economist, Joel Dean, according to him, the purpose of managerial economics is to show how economic analysis can be used in formulating business policies. McGuigan and Moyer has expressed his view about the economics. Managerial economics deals with the application of economic theory and methodology to decision making problems faced by public, private, and not for profit institutions. Business economics extracts from economic theory, particularly microeconomics, those concepts and techniques that enable the decision maker to allocate efficiently the resources of the organization. What can we draw the ideas from the definitions? First, business economics is a branch of economics. This is the first concept we can draw. The second is the term business economics can be used in place of managerial economics. Third, the principles of or theories of economics are applied to solve the problems of business organization through decision making and forward planning. Fourth, the business economics integrates economic theories with business practices. The fifth one is business economics is the science of decision making. So these five ideas we can gain from the definitions of the managerial economics or business economics. Let's talk about the features of business economics. Like others, Business economics has also various features on the basis of meaning and definition of business economics. Characteristics of business economics can be outlined as follows. The first one is business economics is microeconomics. How it can be microeconomics? Business economics is micro in character because it is concerned with that part of microeconomics which has greatest interest and importance to managers or with smaller units of the economy. It studies the problems and principles of an individual firm or an individual industry. It assists the management in evaluating and forecasting the trends of market. The second feature is business economics is normative economy. Business economics belongs to normative economics. It is concerned with what management should be under particular circumstances. First, it determines the goals of the firm, agency, or organization and then develops the way to attain these goals. It deals with future planning, policy making, and decision making, and making rational utilization of the available resources of the enterprise. Third feature is business economics is pragmatic. Business economics is pragmatic as it avoids difficult issues of economic theory. It tries to solve the managerial problems that appear in their day-to-day functioning. Fourth, business economics uses theory of form. Business economics uses that economic concepts and principles which are known as theory of form. Thus, the scope of business economics is narrower than scope of pure economic theory. 5. Main aim of business economics is to help the management. The main aim of business economics is to help the management in making correct decisions and preparing plans and policies for future. Scope of business economics. After the feature, I am going to share you about the scope of business economics. Without the scope of any issues, what is the it means importance of discussing, doing research or talking about that. So economics is the burning issues. Without this we cannot be financially successful. So we must have to know about the scope of business economics. Scope means area covered by the subject. Business economics is a new and developing subject, so it has no defined scope, but its scope is increasing day by day. The various aspects described which represents the major areas in which managers have to take decisions. So the subject matter of business economics consists of applying economic principles and concepts in the decision making. By the management of the business firm, business economics deals with the following areas. The first areas or scope of business economics is demand analysis and forecasting. Demand for a commodity is affected by a number of factors called determinants of demand. Demand analysis helps the management in identifying the factors that influence demand for the products. Thus, demand analysis and forecasting is very much important to plan a business. A study of the determinants of demand is also necessary for forecasting future demand, which is essential for preparing production schedule and employing productive resources. Hence, demand analysis and forecasting occupies an important place in the study of business economics. The second scope of business economics is cost and production analysis. A firm's profitability depends much on its costs of production. A wise manager would prepare cost estimates of a range of output, identify the factors causing variations in costs, and choose the cost minimizing level of output. Taking also into consideration the degree of uncertainty in production and cost calculations. Sound pricing policies depend much on the cost of production. Similarly, production analysis is important to avoid wastages of materials and time. Thus, cost and production analysis forms a part of business economics. The third scope of business economics is pricing decision, policies, and practices. Since a firm's income and profit depend mainly on the price decision, the pricing policies and all such decisions are to be taken after careful analysis of the nature of the market in which the firm operates. The fourth scope is profit management. Each and every business firms are tended for earning profit. It is profit which provides the chief measure of success of a firm in the long period. Economists tell us that profits are the reward for uncertainty bearing and risk taking. A successful business manager is one who can form more or less correct estimates of costs and revenues at different levels of output. The more successful a manager is in reducing us uncertainty, the higher are the profits earned by him. Therefore, profit planning and profit measurement constitute the most challenging area of managerial economics. The another scope which is very important in business economics is capital management. Still another most challenging problem for a modern business manager is of planning capital investment. Investments are made in the plant and machinery, the buildings which are very high. Therefore, capital management requires top level decisions. Capital management means planning and control of capital expenditure. It deals with cost of capital, rate of return, and selection of most suitable projects. Inventory management. A firm should always keep an ideal quantity of stock. If the stock is too much, the capital is unnecessarily locked up in inventories. At the same time, if the level of inventory is low, production will be interrupted due to non availability of materials. Hence, a firm always prepares to have an optimum quantity of stock. In order to minimize the inventory cost, managerial economics use some methods such as ABC analysis. It is an inventory categorization method which consists in dividing items into three categories A, B and C. A being the most valuable items, whereas C being the least valuable items. After the scope, let's talk about relation of business economics with traditional economics. There is close relation of business economics with traditional economics, that is micro and macroeconomics, MI and MA. Business economics uses the several microeconomics concepts such as managerial cost, marginal revenue, elasticity of demand, and macroeconomics concepts such as national income, money investment, consumption, international trade. In order to make business decisions, the relationship between business economics and traditional economics can be explained as: the first relation is in the field of sales promotion. Demand for any commodity depends upon many factors like income of the consumer, size of the population and its composition, advertisement, elasticity of demand, consumers' expectation, and so on. These concepts are studied under the traditional economics. Thus, in the field of sales promotion, business economics and traditional economics are closely interrelated. The second relation between business economics and traditional economics is in the field of production. In the field of production, also there is close relationship between traditional economics and business economics. Business economics uses the concepts of traditional economics in order to allocate resources efficiently. Another function of business economics is to measure elasticity of production. For this, business managers should have knowledge of economy of scale, law of diminishing returns, optimal combination of inputs. The third relationship between them is in the field of financial decisions. In the field of financial decision, business economics uses the concepts of traditional economics. Business firms use the concept of time value of money in order to make decisions regarding investment. Using the concepts of traditional economics, business economics analyzes allocation of resources under the uncertainty. The next important relation between them is business forecasting. Business forecasting is the most important subject matter of business economics. Traditional economics is the sources of business economics for business forecasting. The theory of income, employment, business cycle are useful variables for forecasting business activities. The another most important relationship between them is decision making. Business decision makers are interested in traditional economics only to the extent it can help them in making business decisions. Traditional economics contributes business economics by identifying the key factors in the business decision making. Thus, business economics is the integration of economic theories with business practices for the purpose of facilitating decision making and forward planning by management. After this, the relationship between them, we are going to move forward. If there is relationship between them, there might be some differences between them. So let's talk about difference between traditional economics and business economics. Some of the major differences between the traditional economics and business economics are: the first, traditional economics. Traditional economics deals with the study of concepts, principles, and theoretical aspects of economic analysis, whereas business economics deals with the application of economic principles to the problems of an individual firm. The second difference between them is: the first, traditional economics include both the microeconomics and macroeconomics, whereas business economics is essentially microeconomics in character. The third difference is: traditional economics is both positive and normative science, whereas business economics is only a normative science. The fourth difference is: traditional economics is a study of both the firm and an individual, whereas business economics is a study of the problems of a firm only. The fifth difference is: traditional economics studies the rent, wages, interest, and profit theories, whereas business economics lays emphasis on the theory of profit management only. The sixth difference between them is: traditional economics considers only the economic factors affecting a problem, whereas business economics consider both the economic and non-economic factors. The seventh difference between them is: traditional economics is very old and the economic theories and laws are well established, whereas business economics is a new and developing subject. It was developed after the Second World War. The eighth difference between them is: traditional economics studies human behavior on the basis of certain assumptions, whereas business economics is concerned with practical problems. The ninth difference between them is: traditional economics does not depend upon the process of decision making, whereas decision making is the most important task of business economics. The next difference between them is: scope of traditional economics is very wide, whereas the scope of business economics is not so wide because it is only a branch of traditional economics. Thank you very much for listening me. This concept which I have shared with you may be beneficial for all the lovers of economics. I will bring some further lessons and issues of economics. Till then, have a nice day. Thank you very much for listening me. Have a nice day.